Hey everyone, welcome to Group Up With Me, Hungover Media's esports roundup, update, newsletter, love letter to gaming all across the world. My name is Yvonne over there.
Julien, welcome to the show, guys.
Group up with me.
Hey, this week another Overwatch League focused one because I wanted to talk about Overwatch League and Julian probably did too,
Yeah,
but
I'm
I didn't give
excited.
him the option to.
Look, I've enjoyed the break. I got caught up on some gaming. I usually just watch the games instead of gaming. But now I caught up on the gaming. I'm ready to go back in. I'm very excited.
That's great. So let's head back in right now.
All right.
All right, so in stage three, we have some roster shakeups happening right before the league starts. Julian, your favorite team has lost one of your favorite players from that favorite team.
I don't even know why, but Shanghai has unfortunately lost, had to release Undead to his zombie horde overlords. So it's really sad for the Shanghai Dragons. They're a really solid team. They haven't had the chance to shine. I'm just saying. But I think they're gonna come back strong. They gotta.
They've had 20 matches or 20 matches to shine.
No, they haven't got the chance. No one was giving them the chance. All right, Ivan. I just want you to know that Shanghai. I love you. All right, just win a game, please. God
It
damn.
feels like Shanghai has might have that opportunity coming up. Another thing that happened before stage three began, Houston signs a DPS player, Arhan. He's known for playing Genji, but the manager wants you to know he has a wider hero pool than just Genji.
Well, I mean, who is really playing Genji on Houston? I mean, Jake has an all right Genji, but
Linkser.
Linkser does pick up Genji, but is Arhan gonna be better? Is he gonna take over the Genji role?
I would say he wouldn't necessarily be better because Linkser is durable. But I would say that perhaps this would free up Linkser to focus on Widow
Widow,
slash
yeah.
Tracer play, so that they could have a Genji DPS, a Genji focused DPS, and allow Linkser to specialize on that Tracer McCree Widow role.
I mean, it's really impressive and incredibly valuable to your team in order to bring on these sort of flex hero specialists. Because really, I mean, if you think about it, you have to spend many, many, many hours to specialize in just one character alone. Being able to play multiple characters in this game is a true skill. And how many characters in it are there? 27 now? If you include Brigitte, but we don't include Brigitte, especially not in this stage. So if
No.
you're going to allow other people to play the characters that they primarily specialize on, but have been sort of shoved into a role that they don't necessarily need to fill or want to fill, then that's really valuable to your team. So we'll see. I hope Houston gets some more spotlight in the coming stage. We'll see.
Yeah. Uh, we'll very much see. And some not so great news. EQO may receive punishments for a slant eye gesture he made on stream. He claims it wasn't trying to be derogatory, and the statement of who it's that the punishment is going to come down came from the owner of the Philly Fusion and the son of Comcast CEO. So it's an it's another one of those things where I think it's a totally avoidable punishment.
Yeah, just take this. This is for maybe for a lot of these they're kids. They're coming up 18, some of them are 18 years old. So this is for them maybe their first job. And they're all gamers obviously, so we're really immature people. But I mean, you're making a lot of money playing video games, and this is really, you have to take this seriously. This is your job. This is your career. So if you're going to be doing stupid things like this, I mean, we have no reason to believe that Ikio is. I mean, this was a slant-eyed gesture, so it would be a racist sort of attack, I guess, or whatever you could call it. Maybe not an attack, but so I have no reason to believe EQO is racist against Koreans, but um, it still comes off as a bad thing, and it should be punished, I guess. Yeah, it should be punished, but he should not have done that. He could have easily just not done that, and that's his
Yes.
fault. So be gone, get rid of him, or whatever. I don't know. Just punish, ban him for a couple games. I don't know. Ban his account.
We'll see what happens. Of course, it's an unfortunate situation, especially for the Philly Fusion, who were the runners up in Stage 2 and a great surging team.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that surge came from EQO. Now, they've got very solid backups for the starting roster spot. So maybe we'll see some Shadow Burn
Oh, thank
um,
God.
in the future.
This is
And
his time.
yeah, and they've also got Carpe and Snillo in their back pocket. So not a bad group of guys to
Snella needs
have
to take
ready
a
to go.
shower, but
Yes, somebody buy that man a bottle of shampoo. It could be a shampoo conditioner combination. Just get him in there.
you save money on the combos. I'm just saying. Come on. And
Somebody
time.
get that man
A
some
lot
head
of
and
time.
shoulders. Anyway, heading into stage 3, we also have to check out our map pool. So, our map pool is Anubis, Volskaya, Ilios, Nepal, Numbani, Route 66, Junkertown, and the brand new map to the pool, Blizzard World.
Yes, Blizzard World. I have yet to win a match on Blizzard World, I think. And it's been showing up every now and then in the ranked match pool on Overwatch if you play competitive. And of course, if you just play quick play, it's there every time. And it's such a wide open map that has a lot of, Blizzard tender love and care. If you love Diablo, you love StarCraft, you love all these games, Warcraft, then this is a real love letter to you guys. It's sort of like an amusement park. But I cannot say I really like the level in terms of a competitive setting in the game. And I really am excited to see it being played on such a high level. So because I need to start taking notes. So because I don't really understand positioning on the map very often. I've only really played it 4 or 5 times, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
uh, I'm really excited to see what the pros do on the map, and I think that they'll probably turn it into something interesting.
Yeah. In a game where positioning is king in Blizzard
Yeah.
World, there are so many different pathways. It's very
Hmm.
difficult to predict and therefore very difficult to hold, well, at least at RSR levels. I've seen some streamers at higher levels how they're handling Blizzard World, and I don't know. I don't think it leads to the most interesting games that we've ever seen. It's definitely not a King's Row. It's definitely not an Anubis in terms of being a symbol of Overwatch. And
Yeah.
the other thing that we're going to have to deal with is what comps are they going to run, especially now that it's the upcoming infamous Sombra patch that I think that we'll be playing with in Stage 3.
Right. I'm thinking that on defense, I'm thinking you really want mobile tanks. So I'm thinking you're going to be seeing a lot of Winston and Diva play. It doesn't really seem to me that you're going to be wanting your tanks to be in one place the majority of the time because of how many different ways the enemy team can come from. So let's say you have your healers on. Well, I'm specifically talking about the first point. If you have your healers maybe to the right side, I don't, again, I don't really know the strats on this map. So let's just hypothetically, there's a large health pack on the right side, I know, sort of to the right of the capture point. So, and there's also a high point on the left side. So maybe you want to have your tanks up there to begin with to get some free damage. And then they have to move quickly back to the healers because the healers are getting flanked by a tracer or something. So there's no way an Orisa would be able to help out in that situation. So I'm thinking that they may run Diva and a Winston on defense, but we'll have to see. Maybe the strat is to hold everyone in one point. I don't know. I have no idea.
There's also some very precarious roofs that you can get onto that are behind the point to, like if you're facing from the point to the attacking spawn, it's
Yeah.
to the right. That those roofs up there aren't slippery. You can get on top of them.
Oh, really?
So we'll see if that gets patched out for the Overwatch League maps, but they're very nice perches that I've seen streamers use.
So Widowmaker is gonna be good.
Widowmaker for sure, but you could also put up a Bastion up there with an Orisa shield, using a Mei strat like that. So it might be interesting to see what we can do. I definitely an Orisa Widowmaker would be able to fit up there nicely, using the Mei wall strat. So we'll see. But also, I think we're going to see a lot more Sombra in general. So Sombra on this map is going to be very integral, and I think that
You'll
the thing
never see
about
her. You'll just never
playing
see her. She can be
playing
invisible.
yeah, and then you'll have a diva who just is a walking potato.
Yeah, that's true. She's a large potato.
So it'll be interesting to see how even the most mobile of tanks is going to be able to handle the new Sombra patch, especially if it's the patch that doesn't have the you put up your shield and she can't hack through you.
Oh yeah, that is. I think that it must be that patch, right? It's
I would imagine that they should implement the patch where Sombra has, some rules and regulations to her, or else it's too much, and I think it would be kind of unwatchable.
yeah. We're recording this on the 2nd of April, so if you find out before then, maybe then sorry, this is a little outdated, but yeah. So hopefully we see some sort of interesting Sombra play where um, or just make the character a little more interesting to watch. I personally dislike Sombra as a character in terms of her abilities. I think she's a really cool character otherwise, um, but I don't like playing her, and I hate playing against her. So like most characters.
So, in honor of this patch and Blizzard World, it's time for Yvonne's important question of the week.
Hmm.
My question this week to you, Julian, is twofold. A, can you predict the first comps that will be used to attack and defend on Blizzard World? And will any defenders be able to stop the cart from getting all 3 points?
Okay. We'll see. I'm thinking we're gonna see a pretty standard um, dive comp on. Well, okay. Well, on that's a good question. You've stumped me. I'm feeling because I don't know if the defending team is going to try to defend on the high ground, on the left side, or the right side if you're attacking. But let's say they're doing that. I would think that the attacking team would run Winston, Diva, Genji, Tracer in order to dive onto someone, maybe the tanks, maybe the healers. We'll see. And then I figured you would want a Mercy in order to follow that because there's varying degrees of verticality in the stage. And then maybe an Ana. Well, Ana would be sort of left alone. So maybe a Lucio as well. So Mercy and Lucio, I think, would work well in that sort of situation. I'm not entirely sure Moira works so well on this map, considering you do want to hold the high ground and also be mobile on the just the regular ground as well. So we'll see, because I think you really need a more mobile healer. Moira can get around, but she can't really get up so easily.
Right.
She'll have to
So you're
take,
talking about the
yeah.
verticality of
Hmm.
Lucio's wall ride or Mercy just being able to fly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna see from healers. I don't, and then Zenyatta is just a sitting duck on that map, waiting for a tracer to flank him. If he's walking back from a spawn, it's not gonna look so well. And then that means the tanks have to be on Zenyatta the whole time, and then they're just gonna be picked off from who knows where. There's so many different points on the map, so I'm thinking we're gonna have a lot of mobile characters in the map, and that includes the healers.
So, there you have it. On Blizzard World, the first time that we'll see it in the Overwatch League will be on April 5th at 7 p.m. in New York Excel versus the Florida Mayhem.
Yeah,
And Julien has set the lineup.
yeah.
We'll
There's
see a Tracer, a Genji,
yep.
a Winston, a Diva, a Mercy, and a Lucio.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
see if
calling
your
it now.
prediction reigns true because last time Julian made a stage 2 prediction and it didn't go so well for him.
Don't tell them that. Don't remind them.
So we're hoping that that prediction will go better for Julian this time. But Julian, I'm going to tell you that your prediction was wrong last time, but this
Yes.
is my game of the week.
Yes. Really?
Dallas Fuel versus Shanghai Dragons, Wednesday, April 4th, the first game of Stage 3. This is the first chance to see the newly revamped roster of Shanghai Dragons and perhaps the full roster of the Dallas Fuel with OGE coming in that main tank position. I think it'll be interesting because sometimes the most interesting games in sports aren't between the two best teams, but between the worst teams who are trying their hardest.
Very
We might
true.
get some interesting compositions. We'll try and see how the lineups will shake out. We'll see who's fighting for their jobs, and I think in that hunger of fighting for your job, you will see some of the best play that we'll get from either of these teams. Julian, what do you think of my game of the
A
week?
cornered beast is one that you don't want to. You look, you don't want to corner the beast, and the Shanghai Dragons are ready to pounce. I'm telling you, they're gonna win. They're gonna win, man. Oh, it's gonna be great. I can't
I'm
wait.
not calling the win. I actually still think Dallas Fuel is a much better team. I think that there's not a chance in the world that Shanghai Dragons wins this game. I think Dallas Fuel is actually a team that, in its best moments, has given teams like Seoul Dynasty a run for their money, and in their worst moments has looked absolutely horrible. But given time and
Not
effort
as bad as
and a
Shanghai.
consistency, they are one of the better teams when they have their shit together. And I think they can have their shit together for this week.
No, I'm very excited for that match. I can't wait to see it. But I'll tell you, Yvonne, where if you've picked the first match of the week, I've decided to highlight the last match of the week between New York Excelsior and London Spitfire on Saturday, April 7th at 8 p.m. This game is going to be the deciding factor in whether London can beat NYXL every single time outside of playoffs. Because I
They
really
beat
want
them
to
in the
know.
playoffs too.
I know, I know.
NYXL has never beaten one team, the London Spitfire.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm very excited to see this. And we're throwing in a new map in there, of which they're going to have a full view of what everyone else, all the meta, all the interworkings of every single team. And it's the end of the week, so we should see full decisions on what's going on Blizzard World. So we should see basically everything's going to be set in place. This is how this map's going to be played for the rest of time, or at least the rest of the
Here's what
stage.
my thing is.
Yeah,
This is an unfair match.
is it?
Sabiobi is going to New York. He's going to City Field. They canceled his pitch that
I
he's going to
can't
throw,
believe
but
they
he's
did that.
going there and he's going to meet and greet the fans. He's going to get jet lagged on his way back and forth through the country. And he's not going alone. He's going with Pine. He's going with
Of
Art.
course, he's going with
This is
Pine.
going to be a hard loss for the NYXL. Sabiobi falls asleep at the wheel.
It's literally, imagine if he threw that pitch. Literally, no one in that stadium would know who the hell Sabio, and they're gonna call him Sabiobi. Like, what the fuck is going on? You're like, who's this Korean kid? What's going on?
Sabiobi, his name means
The
morning
morning
meteor
star
shower.
rain. Who knows? Yeah, so that should be an exciting time. I would actually watch that Mets game if Sabiobi was pitching the first pitch. So I'm now not gonna watch that game. Sorry,
I
Mets.
expect to see some hardcore slobber knocker map 5 type match, but we'll see if the jet lag actually does affect them. I actually am a little bit serious with the jet lag affecting players.
It
It's
can.
very difficult for an East team to go to the West. These players are going to be in the West, go to the East, and go back to the West.
It's
This is
3 hours.
bad planning.
3 hours is a surprising look. Surprisingly, it does affect you. You think, look, oh, no big deal. 3 hours. It's still the same day. Whatever, man. It can affect you, and it can affect your reaction time. And in a game where reaction time is second to positioning, but also really important, I'll tell you, Sabiobi, you're making the wrong move. Stop going to, unless you want to hang out with me in New York. You're making the wrong move.
Go meet your heroes, Julian.
I would love to meet him. He's so awesome.
Go get a picture with Pine.
Oh, yes, that would be great.
So this is actually a game that is also important because it determines. I think it might shake up some idea of the overall league standings, but we also have to worry about the Stage 3 standings. Now, there's going to be an intriguing thing that happens in Stage 3 that Blizzard has just announced. So, on top of changing the playoffs between Stage 1 to Stage 2 to have that Super Sunday playoff day, now we're going to have a totally new playoff system
Yeah.
going into Stage 3. It's something that I think should have been in there to start with. So what are the changes that we're going to see?
Well, the biggest change is there's actually now 4 teams that make it into the playoffs. So gone are the days where there were 3 teams in a playoffs. But the other big change is that the top seed, NYXL, no longer gets a bye match. So they're going to have to play 2 matches just as well as the other teams are. So it's going to be, and the other change is the top seed gets to pick their opponent, which is strange to me. I don't really understand it, but I guess I sort of understand it at the same time. That's not very standard for most tournaments, but, it's Overwatch League. So
It's also not standard for most sports, but I like this.
Yeah, I
I
kinda
really
like
like
it.
this. I'll
I'm
tell you
just
why I liked it
confused.
because before they had the advantage of the bye, which
Yeah,
I don't know if it was an advantage. As we saw when New York Excelsior came up against London Spitfire didn't have the rust. They played through and they won because they were able to get through the whole thing.
in the
New York
first stage.
Excelsior didn't turn it around in Stage 2 until after the first 2 games. It was a
Yeah,
5 map match, and
the
they
reverse sweep.
it was a reverse sweep. So I think it actually behooves everybody to have that first match as a warm up in this competitive
Hmm.
Overwatch League before moving into the finals game, especially since they're always a patch or 2 behind, and it'll be a bit different. So I think that is going to be good. The interesting thing is it going to be the team that gets the first match that still is a little rusty before that second match, or is it going to be the team that flows basically directly from their play-in match to the finals match that has the advantage?
We'll find out. I'm not sure. And also, do you think we'll see any weird choices from the top seed? Do you think they're going to always choose the worst, quote unquote, I guess worst team by record and by differential to play in their first match, or do you think that they're going to just choose based off of their strategies?
I
I
think
don't
it'll
know.
be a mix of 2 things. They'll pick the team that their strats match up the best with, but also that the strongest opposing team matches up the worst with.
Hmm.
So if you were the NYXL, you were super happy that Philly Fusion matched up so well against London Spitfire because you thought that you had a better chance against Fusion than the Spitfire, who
Yeah.
you've never beaten.
Right.
And the
Right. Right.
Fusion ended up winning. You think that your strengths are okay, we can handle the Fusion dive as long as we know that it's coming, things like that.
Yeah.
So I would probably try to mess with the opposing team. I think that's what we kind of saw in Stage 1. I think the Korean teams actually did try to mess with each other in terms of where their standings were and who the players, what the teams were that ended up in the Stage 1 playoffs. But now we'll get to see, like, if Seoul Dynasty makes it and Houston or Philly make it. Now we're going to see Seoul have to face a Western team before they face a Korean team.
Hmm.
Or one of the other Korean teams face a Western team before they face a Korean team. So you'll see a lot of different strategies have to be faced by the number 2 seed rather than that number 1 top seed.
Cool. I'm excited. This is going to be a really great stage. An awesome 5 weeks. I hope you guys enjoy the coverage on Group Up with me. We will put out a video every single week on Wednesdays, um, recapping usually the last week in Overwatch League, and then also giving some sort of predictions and talking about the news. That's our show.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We kept this short and sweet. Peace out. Have a good week. Enjoy Stage 3, Week 1.
See ya.